want to be rich.
I want to be successful.
I want to meet the love of my life.
I want to be happy.
How do some people attract everything they want? And is it really just luck?
Luck? I think not.
I'm Kalina.
And I'm Selene,
Welcome to The Secret of the Cosmos,
where we explore astrology,
tarot,
feng shui,
manifesting,
universal laws,
and all the woo-woo.
the woo-woo
Yes, the woo-woo.
that might just be the blueprint of abundance. Hi guys! Welcome back to Secret of the Cosmos, your portal to abundance, luck, and the hidden laws of the universe. I'm Selene.
I'm Kalina. So,
This is-
our topic today is actually very woo-woo. I'm just going to say, Celine. It's very woo-woo because we're going to talk about having spiritual guides and can they be potentially guiding you into your abundance or just in general life. So, I'm just going to have a question for you. Have you ever felt like a sudden nudge or a voice guiding you in the right direction, or did you know that there's certain instances in your head, like for example, like a voice in your head saying like to do something. Have you ever had that before?
like a little Jiminy Cricket in your shoulder.
Yeah, kind of like a voice in your head saying for you to do something, like you should like go for it. Or like for example, my best example for this one is like when like just an example, like when someone's driving and then they hear a voice in their head saying like, "Oop, slow down," and then they slow down. Have you ever had moments like that before?
I believe so. Like I'm following my instincts or something like that. Intuition.
Yes.
I think is the right
Yes.
word.
So, did you know that those can actually be your spirit guides?
Cool. Really?
Have you heard about spirit guides at all?
Not really. What's it about?
So, basically, there is a concept now that you can actually use your spirit guides to help you go through life, navigate through life, and hopefully manifest your dream life. And I'm just gonna say, since you were born, there's a concept that you were never alone. So you have guides, I have guides, and it's not a ghost. I'm just gonna say, it's not a ghost following you around. It's more of I think people here on TikTok, for whoever's watching us on TikTok or listening to us, I think you guys have heard about angel numbers. You've heard about life contracts. You've heard about being reincarnated and things like that. And basically, the concept is we all have life contracts. Like you, Celine, when you were born, before you were sent out to like a, what do you call this? Like a project, like call it this, like your appointment. You know how agents get sent to do something in movies? Same as that. Like sometimes they have a team working behind them. And similar to us, like we were sent here on Earth to do a particular thing. Like we have a role to play, if that makes sense. But also in pursuing that role, we also have things that we must learn, like while being here on Earth or something like that. So the guides, we actually choose our guides. They say, this is what they say, by the way. And I'm just going to say that a lot of people who are into paranormal stuff as well, psychics, what do you call this? Like even people who can actually see them, they are always around. We are the ones, obviously we don't remember it, but they say that guides, we were the one who chose our team. Because obviously they will guide us through everything from finding a job into like a family problem or family issues or relationships, or it could just be creativity or just like a personal growth. And it's just a concept that you may never be alone. Just isn't that something cool? Obviously, to some people it sounds scary.
Kind of creepy.
It's not paranormal. Yeah. But the thing is, we have different guides. We have different types of guides. And today we're going to talk about everything about your spirit guides. And even if you don't believe in things like this, it's just a good thing to know, to acknowledge that someone's watching over you and someone's actually guiding you. What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Like, just the concept of having a guide.
Like someone always watching over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Um,
And potentially
um,
judging what's happening and what the decisions you're making in life.
uh, it tends to be creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of comforting, especially when you're kind of scared in a situation, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, there's so many different types of guides. And like for example, some of them helps you in big decisions, or some of them nudge you to have like a daily inspiration or even
Mm.
attracting money in abundance. I think the best way I can explain it is that, for me, by experience, there are times wherein, you know how an idea just suddenly pops in your head on the most
Mm.
random moments.
Yeah.
That's kind of them. I think that's kind of them sending a message, because it comes in like ideas, visions, or like a thought, or even if it sounds like it's you but it's not, like as I mentioned
Inspiration.
earlier. Yeah, like there are times that, as I think I've told you this before, that sometimes I'm just cooking in the kitchen and like, listening to music, and I was just like randomly thinking of things. And then I suddenly realized, for example, it's a situation in the past that I didn't have answers to, like, oh, it's a maybe, like maybe that was what happened. Hold on. And then you put two and two together, and that's kind of like intuition. But they can come in intuition as well,
Mm.
so that it's kind of like them giving you the gossip of like, things like that. But
Like hacks.
yeah. Huh?
Life hacks.
Yes. And then also, there are kind of our cosmic coaches. So today we're going to be breaking down on how you can actually work with your guides.
Ooh.
And, they are kind of like our cosmic coaches. They're here to help you manifest your best life. And I'm just going to say, Celine, the best thing that I can tell people is that, same as like in the Bible, like free will, the concept of free will, they never intrude in your life. They're there to guide you. You're here to
Mm.
learn through your journey. And at the same time, I always believe in the rule of manifesting is like abundance is our birthright. Every person who's here on earth has their birthright. That's their goal. We can always experience the best of our lives. But, sometimes the environment we grow through, and we have, isn't always the best. Like there are people who are privileged, who are born rich or given the right connections and things like that. Some people
Mm.
are a little bit less fortunate, if that makes sense. And maybe that's where the guides come in, on like what to do, how they should live their life in a way. Yeah. So it's just that. So, have you heard about spirit guides before and what they actually are? Like what form they are?
Um, I think this is the first time I've heard of it. This is the first time that I don't really have any idea what they are. So for today I'm really like a student in a class, so I'm ready to learn.
Okay. It's okay. Like, but I feel like you're going to relate on some items, because I think as a person, there are certain moments that we feel guided, and it comes in multiple forms, by the way. So basically, spirit guides are non-physical beings. Obviously we can't see them, but they are energies that guide you, protect you, and teach you. So I think you've heard of stories before. I think you're on TikTok a lot, but there are people who actually tell stories that for some reasons, for some reason, they feel like they shouldn't go to a certain place or they didn't
Mm.
feel safe. Did you hear have you heard stories like that? Like they were supposed to go there, but something inside them tells not to go. And then apparently the other group, there's like an accident and then they stayed back. You know what I mean? Like there are stories like that. And then to them, that felt protection. So I feel like that's also a kind of protection and how your guides can navigate and like help you like, hey, don't go. Like something in your mind tells you like don't go. Like and it signals through your gut as well. Like if something feels wrong, that's also a sign. So basically, they come in and they communicate through signs, intuition,
Yeah.
dreams,
It
even
really does
dreams.
feel
Oh
like
my,
it's intuition.
yeah, and girl, dreams, dreams.
Mm.
I'm just gonna say they can communicate through dreams as well,
Mm.
through symbols. I highly believe in that. And then synchronicities, and I'm just gonna say dream wise, because I've had dreams before which were so weird. Like I really randomly, rarely remember some of my dreams, but there are times where in like, why did I dream about that? And then if I Google what it means, it makes sense. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so accurate. Like, what? What? So to me, I feel like they're giving us symbols and signs and reminding you of like what you should do or if let's say you have a certain issue in your life right now and you need someone to guide you or because let's just be honest, when we talk to our best friends we can talk to them and ask for advice, right?
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
we can ask them anytime, but the thing is our guides, we can ask them anytime but we can't hear their answers. So it's kind of like, hello, give me a sign. What am I supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? It's so hard to like know how to find the right answers. Like just the proper acknowledgement that am I doing the right thing? Is this the right step? You know? And then obviously some people go through lengths to potentially find answers. But when do they come in? Like, when do you think they come in? Like, what is your concept? Like, do you have any questions at the moment, like that you're curious about? Since Celine's kind of like the student today, trying to learn about, like spirit guides.
I think guides come when you're stuck in a rut, I think. I mean, you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for answers in impossible situations or
Mm-hmm.
when you're indecisive. So I think it's those are the perfect times to ask your
I
guides.
Yes. So, but I, honestly, Celine, it doesn't need to be just that specific moment because they follow you
Oh,
24/7. They're like
oh.
CCTVs. they're like
Spiritual
CCTVs.
CCTVs.
They see what you do, they know what you're going and doing. And how I like to call it is that they're like your biggest support team that you don't see.
Your
Like for example,
cheerleaders.
and I find it crazy. This is my notion. Obviously, we are in the physical world, and imagine all of our spirit guides. Your spirit guides are connected to my spirit guides because we're friends, and our families, spirit guides, our spirit guides, and even if we walk around just in public, they all see each other. You know what I mean? So, for example, having an opportunity for work, like, what are the odds that there are things already working behind the scenes and we don't know about it?
Mm.
That's my concept of guides as well. Because, like, yes, some guides are specifically there to help your abundance and life purpose. But for example, let's say just recently I asked to join a certain event, and I don't really know what their process is, but what if like that was part of my life journey, like what I'm supposed to do, like, you know what I mean? What if my guides were talking with their guides and like, hey, like nudge, like check your emails. There's a message from a girl, probably from me. You know what I mean? Like, what if that starts into something bigger and you become part of someone's life, may it be romantic, friendship, work wise, but it becomes like a bigger aspect, a ripple effect. You know what I mean? That connection alone becomes a ripple effect. So I feel like they are working behind the scenes. So today's topic runs through the possibility of working with your spirit guides, and hopefully you can collaborate with them to actually manifest the life of your dreams. So I'm just going to say, Selene, if you are working on anything right now, you can actually communicate with them like and but by the way, I have hacks
Oh.
on how you should talk to them. Because
How?
so same as like our episode before, when it comes to like manifesting and stuff, you know, for example, when we claim, I think a lot of people in manifesting knows this, like for example, in a situation like I'm gonna give you two statements. Statement one, for example, universe or my guides, like, please, let's say, as an example, oh, please help me lose weight. That's what I've told you before.
We
Please
need
help me
that.
lose weight. Versus, thank you for making me lose weight in a healthy way or something. Thank you for the healthy way. So the first statement, when you're asking them like, please make me lose weight, what if they help you by giving you an extra challenge so you don't have money? So you can't feed yourself, which happened to me before. I told you this. I said to myself, like, I need to lose a couple of pounds. And then suddenly a big expenditure came to me. I'm like, oh. And then I had to budget like hard because it was like the last few days before payday. And I was just like, I said I wanted money, like to lose weight, not become poor, to not have enough food to eat. so I'm just saying, thank you for the support. Thank you for the protection. It's like already claiming that they're protecting you. And like, for example, thank you for the opportunities, not give me opportunities. Or like, for example, you know, when someone says, thank you for, what do you call this? Oh, if you say, please give me patience, they would actually give you problems that would teach you to have patience. Meaning, if you say, give me patience, yeah, you're manifesting. It's kind of like be careful what you wish for. Because if you say, please give me patience, or like, please give me courage, life, the universe, your guides will work on giving you these challenges to hopefully hone you to be a brave, courageous, and patient person. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to skip all of that fuzz, just say thank you for the kindness, thank you for the protection, thank you for the patience. You know what I mean? So when you try, I actually have a book. I think it's upstairs, but I have like how to talk to angels and things like that. It says the same thing, like how to talk to them, like say thank you. Don't say please give me this, please give me that, because for example, please give me money, then life will actually give you ways and opportunities. You have to work for it to have the money. But if you say thank you for the money, you're just claiming it because it's coming. It's just like no matter what you do, it's just coming, you know? What do you think about that? I think you have to rephrase a lot of things that you're wishing for,
Yeah.
knowing that.
It's a really be careful what you wish for kind of deal. So you have to be careful with your words.
And also, I think I've mentioned this before on our previous episodes that the universe actually doesn't care whether something is good or bad. The universe doesn't label something good or bad. But if that's your dominant thought, and same with guides, by the way, you don't need to talk. You just need to think. They're not what do you call this? They don't need to hear you talk for you to talk to them. You can just silently think about what you're thinking. They can get it already. I know it sounds very woo woo, but this is similar to, oh my gosh, I'm going to give you a really, a little bit of a paranormal experience for this.
Oh, something scary.
No, but you know the concept of like in manifesting, like think thoughts become things. That's the concept about manifesting. Thoughts become things. And same with the paranormal. You don't really need to say things or talk to it. You just have to think of it. So, you know, when people play the Ouija board
Yeah.
and obviously there's like a whole process. By the way, whoever's watching, please do not. Please don't. Please don't
use
touch
the
that thing
Ouija board.
because that from based on my experience and just doing a census of every paranormal clip, and I love watching like paranormal investigations, that is the root cause of hauntings, attachments, and it's sometimes it's hard. I don't know what they've done with Ouija boards, but it's so hard to like shoo them away. It's not like something that you can just like go away. No, they become attached and things like that. So similar with Ouija boards, you know how they ask for their name or they assume that it's a person they know.
Yeah.
And sometimes people ask, like, for example, like, how do I know this is the right person? I'm going to ask something, a specific question, like, for example, what's the color of our couch from my childhood house? Obviously, let's say the person they're trying to reach out to is the only person who knows that, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly. But
Supposedly.
their head is already saying the answers. Think about that. Like, for
They
example,
can
like,
read minds.
yes. So, for example, like, oh, if this goes red, it means it's red. Dude, they can already hear it. Like spirits and things like that. They can hear your thoughts. They can hear the answers. But it needs to be a very specific thing that they need to tell you for you to acknowledge that it's them. You know what I mean? So, same with our guides. We don't need to speak it out. So, that's why it's so important to have positive thoughts on a daily basis. Even, I'm just going to say, for example, you know how parents and grandparents, when they're taking care of a kid, like a baby or a toddler running, they say, like, be careful, you might trip. The sentence in itself is there's a word that's kind of negative, trip. So again, the universe doesn't care about if it's positive or negative. It's the thought that counts. So the child is gonna trip because he said trip. But if you say be safe, be careful, or you know, go slow and things like that, that's a more positive reinforcement. And for example, people say, what do you call this? Like, I don't have money yet. Even if you say yet, you're already claiming I don't have money. So, same with communicating with your guides, you have to be like positive about it as well. Like, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for drawing abundance my way, because they're gonna be rambling behind the scenes. Similar with maybe Charlie's Chocolate Factory. Like, obviously, the Oompa Loompas are already working behind the scenes to do stuff. That's, well, I'm so sorry for my guides. I'm comparing you to Oompa Loompas. But it's kind of like that. They're working behind the scenes to get what you want and to get things right, to what you want. But yeah, they're just
kind
not
of
watching. Huh?
It kind of reminds me of a cultural thing that I've heard.
Which one?
I think it's, I don't know if it applies to Filipino beliefs, but I've heard that it applies to at least Japanese belief. They have a belief that words hold a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what you said, right? Be careful, be careful, don't trip, and they do trip. It's because they already said the word
Mm-hmm.
trip. And the Japanese, I think the Japanese believes that if you say that word, it really holds a lot of power. So that's why it happens. It kind of reminded me of that.
It does. I'm just gonna say, I don't know. I'm just gonna say Asian countries are so advanced when it comes to like
Mm.
manifesting and stuff.
To woo
All the
woos.
Zen things. That
To woo woo.
Japan, the term Zen came from them. I think.
Mm.
Am I right? And then Chinese people have feng shui and like all of these things, and it's just I feel like we have like I think you know this because, like, just guys, just as a context, Celine has a philosophical background. She studied
Yeah.
philosophy back in the day, but you will notice that there's a lot of like Asian influence when it comes to philosophy and how they think, and they really think things through. So I'm just like really curious about how like the really smart filled wisdom of like people like the guides, like I think they have a name for them, like the advisors. I think the advisors back in the day, like cultural wise, they really have someone like near who, like I don't know, the emperor and things like
Sages.
that.
Sages.
Maybe. No, but you know how the emperor has like a wise
Ah.
counselor or things like
Uh,
that.
I think it's advisors.
Yeah, I think they have advisors, but even in Japan, like all of them have like I don't know, a haiku or something. They all have very great wisdom, and then even the thoughts. My favorite as well is like, for example, the art of war. There's so many aspects of like the Asian culture that has all these words, like as you've mentioned in Japan, that like words hold power, and they do. I think I think that's their secret as well, because obviously back in the day, there's like a lot of wars,
Mm.
and I think that definitely. And by the way, I'm just gonna say they don't have social media back then.
Mm.
They have no social media. Their way of entertainment is probably, I don't know, find someone who can play an instrument and watch them, or watch a show or do
But
arts.
Kalina, when we were
Yeah.
kids, there wasn't any social media too.
I know. Oh my god, our ages are showing. We were talking earlier about like texting and like stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was still text, like going like subscribing to unlimited stuff because we don't have Facebook. I think we had Friendster, Friendster and MySpace, but that was it. Oh my god,
Yahoo
what a
Messenger.
time! I know. No, but I think the difference is that they're obviously kids these days have like brain rot because of like
Mm.
TikTok and the trends, and it's ever so changing. It's just that I think back in the day, all they get to do is sit in the quiet and be with nature and think.
Mm.
Just think. And I'm just going to say, Celine, here, so I'm based in the UK, and I'm just going to say that here in the UK, people are the same. Like
Oh,
they go for walks for fun, for fun. What did you do today? We went for a walk. Where? On this place. Like, oh yeah, they have nice views. I'm like, it's so random that people go here for walks, or people just sit in the park and grab their sandwich and like sit down. And I was just like, what are you? What? But by the way, I'm a city girl, so I'm just like, it's so interesting to me to see how people do it. And I'm just now remembering like maybe people back in the day really get the time to be quiet because they don't have radios. What else? They don't
we
have
don't have
TV.
televisions.
Yeah. So I'm just saying maybe the concept of like, oh, your thoughts hold power. All they do is do things and observe. So I
Mm,
think that's why people in the past are so observant because
mm,
there's less distraction, just something to think about. So
mm.
that's something to add. Okay. Ooh, I have on my bullet point here guardian angels. Obviously, I think you've heard the concept because we're in a very Christian, centered, like our country's very Christian centered, if that makes sense. Even the
I used to
Bible.
read Chicken Soup for the Soul Angels in the school library.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
they have one.
they
Wait,
had.
do you know the background about Chicken Soup for the Soul?
No.
You should. So,
Why?
again, for people watching our podcast and listening to our podcast, basically the concept of our podcast is like I'm really into the woo woo things, and Selene is very curious about them. And obviously, as my friend, she got dragged into this. No, but really, like we like astrology, we like tarot reading. So it's just like I've just opened more topics to her, and every time we do a podcast, I'm sharing her the things that I know and stuff. So just that. There's nobody with that. But this chicken soup for the soul. Going back, if you read the book The Secret, which is the technically in a little bit the Bible of the law of attraction, because like Rhonda Bryan like talks about law of attraction, and I'm so sorry, I don't know his name, but the person, the founder of Chicken Soup for the Soul, I think they were open to the idea of like, ooh, maybe I can manifest like $100,000. Don't quote me on this, but I think that was the story. Like, how do I manifest this? So I think he was trying to think of ways because he believes that he can manifest it. And then I think he was in the shower one day and for some reason, he suddenly remembered that he wrote a book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I think he developed it and then he submitted it. And then I think he got like a rights to it. He got it published. Like he manifested $100,000, I think. It became best selling. And then
Wow.
him and his wife said like, "Oh my god, it works." Like I think it didn't sum up to like 100,000. It was like 99 or 90 something thousand. So it was like if you round it up, it's kind of
Close
like
enough.
100,000.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
and then they said to each other like, "Do you think it would work for $1 million?" And then it did. So just that. Do you wanna see the video for it? Because I think maybe they have it on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
Believe you can have it. Believe you deserve it. Believe it's possible for you. And then close your eyes every day for several minutes and visualize having what you already want and feeling the feelings of already having
I
it.
think this is him
Come out of
saying
that
what you should do.
and focus on what you're grateful for already. And really enjoy it, okay? And then go into your day and release it to the universe and trust that the universe will figure out how to manifest it.
I'm so sad that they removed this from Netflix. It used to be there before.
No, The Secret was definitely a real transformation for me because I grew up in a family where my dad was very negative, thought that rich people were people that had ripped everyone off, thought that anyone who had money, must have deceived somebody. And so I grew up with a lot of beliefs about money that if you had it, it made you bad. Only evil people have money. And, money doesn't grow on trees. That was a big one. Who do you think I am, Rockefeller? That was one of his favorite phrases. So I grew up truly believing that life was difficult, that it was hard, you had to struggle. And it was only when I met W. Clement Stone that I literally began to shift my life. When I was working with Stone, he said, I want you to set a goal that's so big that if you achieved it, it would blow your mind. And you would know it's only because of what I've taught you that you would have achieved this goal. Well, at the time, I was making about $8,000 a year. And for some reason, I wanted something that was really measurable. So I said, I want to make $100,000 in a year. And I had no idea how that could do that. I saw no strategy, no possibility, but I just said, I'm going to declare that, I'm going to believe it, I'm going to act as if it's true and release it. And so I did that. And one of the things he taught me was every day to close your eyes and visualize the goal as if it's already achieved. And I had actually made a $100,000 bill that I put on the ceiling. So the first thing I'd see when I woke up, I'd look up and there it was. It would remind me this was my intention. And then I would close my eyes and visualize having this $100,000 a year lifestyle. And interestingly enough, nothing major happened for about 30 days. I didn't have any great breakthrough ideas. No one was offering me more money. And all of a sudden, I was in the shower. It was about 4 weeks into it, and I had a $100,000 idea. It just came right into my head. I had a book I had written, and I said, if I could sell 400,000 copies of my book at a quarter each, that'd be $100,000. Now, the book was there, but I never had this thought. And one of the secrets, I think, is that when you have inspired thought, you have to trust it, and you have to act on it. Now, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how I was going to sell 400,000 copies. We'd never done that. And then I saw the National Enquirer at the supermarket. I had seen that millions of times, and it was just background. And all of a sudden, it jumped out at me as foreground, and I thought, wow, if readers knew about my book, certainly 400,000 people would go out and buy it. And about 6 weeks later, I gave a talk at Hunter College in New York to 600 teachers, and this lady comes up at the end and she says,
That was a great talk. I'd like to interview you. Let me give you my card.
and I said, who do you write for?
I'm a freelancer, but I sell most of my stuff to the National Enquirer.
And I had this little theme from the Twilight Zone went off in my head. Na, 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 na. You're like, whoa, this stuff's really working. So that article came out, and our book sales started to take off. But the point I want to make is that I was attracting into my life all these different events, including this person. And to make a long story short, I did not make $100,000 that year. We made $92,327. But do you think we were like depressed and going, this doesn't work? No, we were going, whoa, this is amazing. And so my wife said to me, wow, if it works for 100,000, you think it'd work for $1 million?
Let's try it.
And I said, I don't know. I think so. Let's try it. My publisher actually wrote me a check as a royalty check for our first Chicken Soup for the Soul book. And he actually put a smiley face in his signature because it was the first $1 million check he'd ever written. And so I know from my own experience, because I wanted to test it, does this secret really work? And we put it to the test. It absolutely worked. And now I live my life from that.
What can you say?
Maybe I should put $100,000 bill on my ceiling too.
I want to do that here, but the lowest bill that we can find is £5, and £5 is in Philippine peso. That's 350 pesos. I don't want to write on it. I don't think it's legal, but similar is the thing that happened to Jim Carrey. He wrote a check for himself for $10 million, I think. But my idea there is since we're talking about spirit guides, it's he was taking a shower and then suddenly he has just that idea, that bright idea. And the best way I can explain it is that that there's imagine having a filing cabinet in your brain, kind of like SpongeBob. Yeah. In SpongeBob, but there are so many ideas in our head, but there's no right way to unlock everything. Again, there's a concept that every answer is within you. That's a line by, I think, Gabriel Bernstein. She's into manifesting as well, law of attraction. But that clip alone really does say that it's intuition. Sometimes when you work with your guides, the idea just pops up on the right time, and they can actually help you because they see what you're working on. For example, again, he's visualizing. They can see your thoughts. They can hear your thoughts. Guides can hear, and they know what you're doing. They know what you're going after. But if it's really clear, they can see, he wants 100,000. How can we help him? Oh wait, because again, similar. I don't know if you guys have played Peak, but Selene and I played Peak. there's a point where the other friend dies, you're just a ghost. But the difference is you can actually see more of the point of view, because obviously as a person this is only our point of view, whatever we see. But when you're, let's say our guides, they can see the whole room, like what's happening around us. They can see the answers around us, but we can't. And the only way is that the only sad part is that we cannot hear the answers right away. Obviously, again, this is very woo woo. Maybe there's going to be a lot of like contradictions with people who are, Christians, and like, no, it's only God. Like, no, I'm just saying these are the people that God sent us here, down here, to guide us. Similar of just the concept of like, when you have like a relative who passed away and they're looking after you, it's kind of like that. It's just similar to that. But obviously these are a team, and I believe, I personally, that God and the universe sent us here for a reason. And if however you want to believe it, that God sent us here for a purpose, and you have a team to work on this with. And by the way, Selene, their job, why you have guides, is that, let's say you applied for a company and you have a contract, and in this contract you have a job description. So your guides, your spirit guides, they're like, okay, the earth is a very distracting place. It's so easy to be distracted here with so many things going on. And once you're born, you're not going to remember all of this, but we have to remind you that this is your purpose, and it's going to keep showing up. So we have to throw in signs. So a lot of people are dabbling into angel numbers. They see 444. What does it mean? And those are not coincidences. They actually show up because that's them trying to, it's kind of like a smoke signal. They cannot talk to you. So they're finding ways for you to listen to them. And fine, I'm going to share my sign of like, I think my very first, do you want to hear it? I think you've already heard about it.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Do you remember the 143?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the story behind it? Have I shared that with you?
Refresh me.
So basically, when I was younger, back when I was in university, like Selene and I were talking earlier about my life when I was in uni. So when I was younger, this actually happened after my granddad passed away. And a lot of our family members actually tell me that I'm kind of like my granddad because, well, other than he was smart, I don't think I'm that smart, but I'm just saying that he had the same like wisdom as me as a person or something like that. Also, I got a birthmark similar to him, the tiny hole in your ear. Like, yeah. I got the same. There's only 3 of us in the family who have it, my aunt and me. So I kind of, that's their sign as well. Like, ooh, she's like daddy. Like, not daddy, but like she's like, we call my granddad daddy. Like, she inherited some of his traits. So when he passed away, something weird happened to me back when I was in university. I kept seeing number 43. So it was weird because every time I still remember it, it's the tiny phone, the Samsung Champ, the small phone. It says 43, like 143, 243 every time. And I was so scared of what it was. I'm like, what is that? Why? That's so weird. Why do I keep seeing that number? And it's not a random number. It's 43. You know what I mean? And it's not that I've only seen it like 2 times a day or 3 times a day. I see it like 9, 10 times a day. Like plate numbers. It's a lot. It's scary. Like, am I gonna die? What is happening? What is this? It's like if someone was knocking at your door, imagine 10 times a day. That was how scary it was. Like hello, like this is a sign, clearly. and And one of the times that I've experienced it as well, because like there's a place in the Philippines called Baguio, Philippines, and when we were there, I remember so clearly we were staying at Camp John Hay, and then the Manor, and then we moved to a different hotel because there's a celebrity who stayed in that hotel, and we want to experience it as well. My family wanted to, and then soon as I opened the door, their address is 43. I forgot the hold on. I'm gonna search hotels in Baguio City. Like, I'm just gonna say best hotels. I'm gonna look for the name because I kid you not, when I opened the door, it was 43. Top hotels. Oh no. I'm trying to find the name of the hotel. Was it Hilltop Hill? I forgot. But anyway, the address of the hotel was 43. Like, soon as I opened the door, and I was just like, what the heck? why is it everywhere? And then I even told my mom about it. I know. And then my mom said, oh no, am I gonna die when I'm 43? And I said to my mom, like, stop, don't say that. Don't say that. Like, oh, and I was like, am I gonna die at 43? What is happening? So it was so creepy, but it did happen. It started happening when my granddad died. And for years I was asking what it meant. And then there was, I think, fast forward to the future, I met up with, I think the Filipinos know this, Stargazer. So I met Stargazer. She's kind of like a psychic in a way. She does tarot reading. She is actually, is she still alive?
I actually don't know.
She's the girl. Hold on. I'm trying to see if she's alive. I'm so sorry. If you're alive, I'm so sorry and you're seeing this. Psychic. I don't know if she's still alive. Is she still alive? If she's still posting on Facebook, she probably is. Oh no, that's. Oh, yeah, she's still alive. She's still alive.
She's still alive.
So she has another show for DZMM, which is like a radio station in the Philippines. So I met up with her, and then she got my birth chart and everything. She got my birthday. So she did like an actual reading for me. She sees auras, and then I asked her, I think before I left her, it's not an office, it's kind of like I don't know if it's her house, but I said to her, like, I keep seeing this number, and it's not like a repeating number, it's like a random number. So she gave me the background feng shui wise, like 4 is not good, but there are concepts as an angel number. So I looked up the meaning of like the angel number 4 and 3, and it actually said there it's like higher masters and ascendants and things like that. I was like, ooh. And by the way, ascendant masters, if you've heard of them, they're teachers from higher planes like Buddha or some enlightened being. They help you with spiritual growth and attracting abundance. And I've always questioned myself now that we're doing this, but also in the past when people come to me when they want to manifest things, I've always asked myself, like, maybe I'm here to guide people or things like that, or share my wisdom at some point. Maybe I have a bigger role. I don't know what role that is, but basically higher, like ascendant masters, are like they offer intuition, clarity, and in decisions, or they connect you directly to your dreams and purpose. So that's only 43. And then and by the way, the funny thing is, like, I told this when I started working for a certain international school back in the day. I told my students about it, and I was like, I keep seeing this number, and they're like, no, you're just imagining it. Like, even they don't believe it. I was just like, like you don't understand. You don't understand because, like, obviously they don't see numbers. And one time, I can say her name because people don't know her, Chelsea. We carpool together because we kind of like live nearby. And Chelsea had, I think it was like really late, and my phone was dead. So there's no way for me to check the time. But I mentioned, it's always the time. But now it kind of seems like, oh my God, I'm just going to tell you this, Celine.
Wow. What is it?
It's 3:43 at the moment while we're talking.
There you go, folks.
There we go, folks. I just checked the time. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so I asked Chelsea because my phone was dead, and I was just like, Chelsea, what time is it? And then she's like, oh, Miss. She calls me Miss. I'm like, Miss, it's 11:43 p.m. because we were at an event in school. And I'm like, oh my, and then she looked at me like, oh my God. So no one believed me for so long. But then she's like, oh yeah, it exists. So it's kind of like body clock now for me to check the time. And then it's always at 43. But what are the odds, right? So, and then
Too
for
much of a
some reason,
coinky-dink.
I know, but and then for some reason, it paused at some point, and then they show
Pause.
up, and then I put two and two together. Whenever it shows up, there's something big that happens in my life. Maybe it's like a medical situation for a family member, or a certain situation, or let's say a job stuff or something serious. So to me, it kind of seems like they show up. So now I have kind of acknowledged it. What if it's my guides? So I've asked that, like, maybe they're my guides, like, and they're giving me like a heads up that, hey, like, be aware, something's gonna happen, and we're here for you. So that's my acknowledgement. But also equally, when I see the number, it means that, hey, it's like them calling my attention and saying that you need to do something, like or same with the angel numbers. When you see angel numbers, you have to think of, in that spur of a moment, what you were thinking, and then read what the angel number means. And that's the sign. Like, for example, 444, I always take that as everything's going to be fine. Or 555, big changes are coming. I still see the repeating numbers. Or 1111. I've been seeing 1111 a lot. But yeah, just saying that. And then your guides aren't just like watching, they're actively helping you to navigate life. So now I think oh no, I'm going to share it.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know, but I do have tattoos. but Celine knows. So I have a tattoo on my side, which is 143. For the longest time, I thought it was just 43, but now it's like more of 143. It's majority 143. And now if people ask me like, why 143? I'm like, I don't know. Receive love. I love you. It's on my left side. But obviously our left side is like the receiving part of our body. So to me, having 143 is like, for the longest time, even for more than a decade or something, I've always known that I've been supported, and our what do you call this, non-dominant side? Oh, sorry, because the screen was dying. I was like trying to control the screen, and I couldn't see what the notification was. Sorry, Celine's view. She was just seeing my tummy. Sorry for everyone watching. But basically, I put it on my left side because that's my non-dominant side, and meaning I want to receive the guidance, protection, or if they're trying to communicate and like anything. Because I've gone through so many things in my life, and I feel like all the wisdom, like I like the fact that I grow more wisdom when, even though I'm going through things. And I appreciate that the feeling, as you've mentioned earlier, it's comforting. It's creepy, but it's comforting to know that someone's watching over you. So to me, it's kind of like an acknowledgement that I'm grateful for whoever is watching over me. I'm grateful that I'm supported for whatever challenge that I'm going through life, or no matter what situation. It's like it's instant. As I've said, like it comes in like ideas, and like it just happens. And the video that we just watched, Celine, the ideas that pop in my head, even if it's like, by the way, just gonna say, even if it's gossip, even if it's gossip, I think Celine knows about it because she knows everything. Um, even if it's gossip about the people we're not talking to anymore, or like, hey, check on him. Like, there's just ideas like, ooh, like a random person pops in my mind, like, ooh, how is that person doing? And then there's a recent update for it, like, you should check this, and like, ooh, and then there are certain. Have you ever had that, Celine? Like, there's a random thought that comes into your head, and it's kind of like a commercial. Like, for example, like, oh, maybe I should check this, even
Me
though it's
every
like a
day.
spur. Yeah, like, do you ever have that? But it's something not about you, or maybe something about what you're doing, and it actually does help you in the process. Have you ever had that?
Like almost always. Like my brain is one big commercial.
True, true. I agree. Me too. True, me too. I agree. No, but it is actually like that. Like, our guides work in mysterious way, and even they can work through people. You know how he said that in the video he met someone from the Inquirer, and he was like looking into reaching out to the Inquirer, and then someone was writing from the Inquirer. It's kind of like same with manifesting. Like, you already have the intention, and then, ooh, they can read your mind. Your guides already know what's in your head, your thoughts, what you're working towards. And same with manifesting as well, that inspired action really works really well for manifesting, because like, you cannot be just someone waiting for it to show up. You have to work for it, for the universe to see that, oh, she really wants it. And if your guides really see like how you're working towards your goals and your dreams, and they would actually like, oh, she likes it. You kind of like parents, like if they see their child who's, let's say, listening to a lot of like guitar lessons, or like, oh, she really wants to like do guitar, or like she really like wants to do music, I should support her. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when they see you really working on something, and they really see you're passionate on it, they're really gonna do everything in their capability to help you out. So same with your guides. Like, you can actually communicate to your guides about what you want to work on and what you want to achieve. Similar to the guy in the video, he was actually showing that, he has that 100,000, that $1 that says $100,000 on his ceiling. So in a way, even if he can't communicate directly with his guides, they know like, oh, he's manifesting $100,000. So imagine his team was just like, they know what he likes and what he's working on, and he's actually physically working on that thing. So your guides actually send you nudges, ideas, and signs to make aligned decisions. So I know that video is very law of attraction, but if you think about it, the nudges, he was taking a shower, it's a very random moment. It's like the little ideas. And the best way I could explain this is that, when you have those, have you ever had that feeling of like being at the right place at the right time?
Sometimes I do get those feelings, and sometimes I do also get the feeling of, I think I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, but I think that's more of like intuition. But I do believe that there's no accidents, even if like you are in a place wherein you don't feel great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign that that's what you need to do less. I think it's a sign. So at least your body knows, like, this is what I feel like. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Or I still think that's kind of like a experience that you have to learn from. So I think that's that. But I've had an experience before. I've had it today.
Oh.
So before we had our call, I'm not going to disclose what I actually do for a living, but I got referred by someone. Sorry, excuse me. It's the juice. It's the juice. So I got referred by someone, and I've been taught. It's kind of like just think of it as an agent. They need to refer my services to someone else, and I was collaborating with her. And by the way, this girl I met her on TikTok. I met her on TikTok because she organizes things, and last week she was asking about my services. Maybe she could refer it to the people who needs me and my work and things like that. And then today she gave me a go signal that they really want to go with me, but obviously it would take time for them to make a decision, like payment wise, because they're saving up for the money and things like that. But she gave me the what it was like while talking to them, and then what their point of view is. So she was saying that, they wanted to go for service A. Let's say I'm service C. They wanted to go for service A and service B, but they weren't they weren't impressed, but they saw your work and they loved it to a point that they cannot stop watching it. And then they were just like, oh, that looks really beautiful. And then I've never seen something like that. And I was just like, oh, thank you so much. But then she proceeded to say that now they've moved to a different subject. I think they were talking about, I'm just going to say this is an event, like they were talking about design and things like that. And then she said, out of random, she said, hold on, I can't stop thinking about that video.
Oh.
So the client was so happy about my work. And I'm just gonna say, when I say that they make you like the ideas and the nudges, when I met this girl that I just saw, it's like, ooh, she sounds nice. And then in my head before, it's like, why not message her? Nothing's gonna happen. What's the worst thing that could happen? She would say no, or she would ignore me. That's fine. And TikTok's like that. You comment and then you scroll, right? So I just did that. In that moment, that was the right thing to do in my head, and it did, and it paid off. So 2 months ago, we did a collaboration. I met her, and then now we're gonna be working together soon.
Congrats.
And we're doing, well, not now, the event's next year, but eventually I'm gonna meet her clients. And to me, it feels like those small nudges that your brain tells you to comment, to like, to apply for something, to go out, to go to the mall or attend an event, or to message someone, or to engage. It's a little small thing, but it creates a ripple effect. And as I've mentioned, all of our guides are connected.
Yeah.
So who would have thought that we will be collaborating, and that small decision that you make is actually gonna create a more impact. And now it's not just like me and her talking. We're now changing people's lives in a creative way because of my work. Many people will be able to watch my work and like see my work, and it's just different. I was telling Selene earlier, because I've known Selene since, is it 2011 or 2010? Oh my God, our age is showing.
Around those years, 2010.
Around those years, I think. And then I said to her, but during that time that when we met, we were not as close. We're acquainted, but not like friends. Like she knows me, I know her, or not even just normal friend. We're like acquainted. We know people. We know each other from people, and we just like very civil. Like we just coexist, if that makes sense. And in my head, if we had guides, I said this to her earlier. Like if we had guides, imagine them saying like, they don't know they're gonna be close in the future. They have no idea. Like they're like this right now, but they don't know that years from now they're gonna have a podcast. They're gonna have a podcast. They're gonna be working together.
Funny where life
and
goes.
they're gonna be playing. I know they're gonna do food trips. They're gonna do we're gonna play together, they're gonna work together. I don't know, it's just like the world works in different ways. So as I've mentioned to her, like maybe it's like the what is it like the red string theory, or like the invisible string theory of like we're always connected and we just don't know it. Like you know how videos of like couples, like there's videos on TikTok of them not realizing that the picture of the kids behind them when they were in a theme park or something is their husband.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, so similar to that, like what if we already are so connected with everyone else and we're all part of each other's lives that our guides are connected. I feel like my guides are connected to Celine's guides. And also another thing is like, you know, when you're about to, our guides also like to butt in when you're about to make a wrong decision. And there's something inside you that tells you like, no, this is not the right decision. Like there's something doesn't feel right in this decision. And I think Celine has done this earlier this year. Oh no, last year, I think. I think Celine had a client that she was contemplating to have.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Remember.
So she was contemplating. It was a good opportunity, but she's like, something doesn't feel right with this one. And then she hit me up and like say like, I have this thing. And then for some reason it just felt wrong.
Yeah.
And then we were doing everything, obviously the woo-woo things. We did readings, we did energetic stuff, what would be the working chemistry and things like that. And similar to that, like when something doesn't feel right, your gut's gonna tell you, but sometimes it's not your gut, it's your guides. Or like, for example, like you're entering a space and it doesn't feel safe. It's them telling you like, get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, same as the story I said earlier of like people being invited to trips and then something in their heads like, don't go. And then the story ends up being the other people got into an accident and then they're like, oh, thank God. Because that's your guides. They're protecting you. Or, oh my God, this is the best example.
What?
You know the burnt toast theory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite story of all time is the kid who missed her school bus back in the day. This is like the 9/11 story, which is very unfortunate. So the kid missed her school bus, and I don't know if it's like a mom or the dad. I think it's the dad who was so upset with her because like she missed the school bus, so the dad needs to drive her to school now, and he's going to be late for a meeting. And apparently the meeting is in the Twin Towers in New York. And for some reason, maybe there was a delay of like, you know, something had to happen. Like maybe the delay was caused by something unseen, maybe their guides. And then apparently that event itself, the kid, her missing the bus, is actually that small thing why the dad is alive right now. Like imagine that. That's protection on a different level. It's similar with burnt toast theory. I feel like sometimes that's why blame myself whenever I'm procrastinating. This is message for you guys watching and listening, and Celine as well. When some things don't go wrong, like when you feel like I always tell this to Celine, like rejection is a redirection, or if something doesn't work your way, always see it as a protection. Same with if you, let's say you're applying for a job or a relationship didn't pull through. I'm just gonna say maybe that's their guides are leading them towards a different direction, and your guides are saying stop, don't engage with that anymore, just because maybe in the future it's gonna be different, you know. I have another story,
What?
which is actually mind blowing for me.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. This is like a similar to burnt toast theory, but now it makes sense. That's why I always think that everything is happening for a reason, and even guidance and stuff. Back in the day, I was living in the capital. Like I was still back in the Philippines, and so our house, we were renting a house. We were since I was a kid, and it's a building. It's like an apartment, and for some absolute reason, without any communications from the person who owned the house, we got a sheriff's letter. Have I told this story with you before?
Yeah, I believe you did.
I think I did. Like, we received a letter from the sheriff that's saying that the people who own our house use the house as a collateral to get a loan somewhere. Obviously, it wasn't communicated to us that they used the house as a collateral. And we were given a notice that we have to leave, like, within the same month. And we were like, what is happening? We're paying our rent. Like, what is happening? This is not our fault. So to us, it's like a lot of like victim mentality of like, why is this happening to us? And my mom had a huge mobility issue. Like, it was like everything happening all at once, and we lived there for years. So it was like a end of an era, if that makes sense. And to us at the moment, it looked like the worst thing is happening, because we have to move somewhere. There's like a family medical concern issue and things like that. And I have a sibling who's still young, and he's just about to start school, and we have to move houses now. And it's not, and you know, if you live in the city, it's hard to find an affordable house. Yeah. And everywhere is like expensive, but where we were currently living was like great because the prices were great. So we had to move far, like a different city, like probably a little bit provincial, but not so provincial, a little bit near, a little bit further where you live. I can say that because like we see mountains where we live and stuff. So it's far, but it's good for my relative because medical concerns and stuff like that. And again, it seemed like the worst thing at the moment. But you know what happened not even a year after?
What happened?
Celine?
What happened?
The building burnt down.
Damn.
The building where we used to live burnt down. And the thing that got most affected was our house. So it's a building, and I think the first 3 house got affected because like at the end of it, obviously there's a wall, and then I think there's a lot of an area we're in, you know, how do I call it? It's not nice to call it like squatters or squatting. Like there's a nicer term for it now. People who just, displaced. You know, like they don't have house.
Displaced.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So they have a lot of wiring issues, probably because they use jumpers and things like that. And our area is like walled, so we're protected. But since the whole area got affected, our area, like we're the first 3 doors, like the first 3 side of the building, gone. It was just gone. But in our heads now, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why this thing happened. And Yeah, Brento's theory, but also to us, like it was weird because it felt so wrong and chaotic, but to me it felt
Yeah.
right. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I was just saying like, oh, well, this is something new. Like I've always wanted to leave that place. I'm just gonna say, but I'm just saying that it it didn't make sense because to us it felt like it was the worst thing that was happening. But during that time when it was happening, to me, gut feeling wise, it was right. So I feel like I'm being guided. Like no, 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 this is good. Like in my head, like it's thinking this is good. It felt like it wasn't me because to me it was so problematic, but it's just that. So same as that when just listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, and the trick is you have to tune in. And I'm not kidding here. Meditate, because when you meditate, you listen to your body, you listen to yourself. Some people journal as well, or pay attention to synchronicities. You can even just learn the basic meaning of the synchronicities. Again, like for example, 444, when I see it, like everything's gonna be fine. Even if like there's a chaotic situation and I see it, it says everything's gonna be fine. Okay, fine. I'm gonna calm down. And once you notice it, just take an aligned action and manifest what you want in your life. Just communicate that you need guidance. Thank you for so much for guiding us. Thank you so much for supporting us. Because in that moment, I felt so supported. Like there, we said, my mom, my dad, and my siblings said, "Oh my God, I feel like there's someone watching over us. They know, like they know that this thing's potentially gonna happen, and they moved us even before it happened." And I'm just gonna say that that's an intense protection, and we were so grateful. Because imagine, let's say there's a burning building, everyone would be concerned with their own lives. It's very rare to find a heroic person who would help us, because obviously my mom has like mobility issues, but you know what I mean. And we live in the third floor.
Would
So
have been really hard.
obviously, I'm just saying, yeah, it's just like it's crazy. But yeah, again, I think my tip for people who want to communicate, with the practical tips, I think this is we're on the last part now. Like, just one, communicate, like quiet your mind daily and listen. Communicate through your intuition and dreams, because they usually do that. Like when you wake up, if you hear about your, like you remember your dream, what was the highlight, you can even Google what it means and then put two and two to get together. That's how you get a symbol of like what they mean. Ask your questions clearly and be open to unusual ways of answers. Like people usually ask for signs and they usually give it, in a very random way. Like Selene and I have a weird thing with butterflies now.
The butterflies.
We have the butterflies and stuff. And then what else? Some people journal. The thing with journaling is like, I know people say like journal it. What people don't understand is that when you, same with therapy, like when you keep talking and talking and talking, you actually realize how things unfolded. Like for example, you tell them what happened throughout your day. You kind of reflect whenever you write. So that's the tip of journaling. It makes you understand yourself better, the situation better, how you could have like, that's very helpful because it's very it trains your intuition in a way. And then repeating numbers, angel numbers, and the messages, and then probably meditate on the abundance and ask for guidance of like just money, but not just money, but just like opportunities or life and direction. I had a recent experience like recently. I reached out to a company to showcase my work, what I do for my job. And by the way, they're a big company. Like they're massive. So obviously I'm not going to disclose what I do, but so basically it's a venue It's a place, but they also sell some products internationally
Oh.
in the whole UK. They have a brand. I've seen some of their stuff and I'm like, ooh. And then last minute, I think within the same week, they reached out to me like, hey, yeah, you can join us. Like, and I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
They reached out to me. So and and it was so surreal because like the people I know were also there and like, hi, you're also here. Hi, you're also here. So to me, it feels like the opportunities, ask for it. What do you need to unlock? Like, tell me, like, just, but obviously when you're trying to venture and you don't know where to go, there's so many doors that you think you want to open, but you just have to think of one. Like, just give me an open door that would open me and connect me to more people. And I think that's what I've been trying to manifest lately. So if you are watching this and you're trying to follow the life of your dreams, trying to fulfill like a role in people's lives, do it.
Just
Communicate with your
do it.
guides.
Don't let dreams.
Just do it.
Dreams.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. All right. I think that's about it. What can you say? I think now the big question is,
Dun, dun, dun.
Celine, do you now believe you have guides or? What do you think?
I think I'd like to believe that I have guides. Sounds nice, except for the creepy part that they're always watching. But it's also, like I said, comforting. They don't think they mean any harm if they're around.
I know. I always think that, like, for example, like I'm changing clothes, I'm like, please make sure you're not watching.
Right. Or when
This
I'm
is
inside
weird.
the toilet, please stay outside.
I know. But I'd like to think, kind of like same with like doctors in hospitals, obviously they see a lot of like the bodies of like people they work with. They don't care. They don't care because they've seen so many already. So I think that's kind of like the situation with them. Like, it's okay. We've seen you as a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we've seen you as a kid. We've seen you as you are. We're not going to judge you. Like, we were here since you were born. So it's not a big deal anymore. You know what I mean? There's no judgment. I think on the other side, it's very accepting and as is. And by the way, just so we're probably going to discuss this in the future, but I think you should believe on guides. You know why?
Why?
Is I think I remember Celine was telling me that they're sensing something in their kitchen before.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I asked you today, do you still sense it? Have you ever experienced anything again? And then you said no, that was gone.
It's completely gone.
That was your guides. They kicked it out.
Thank you, guides.
I'm just gonna say, obviously, this is a woo-woo thing, but we have means. We know people who can do stuff and send stuff. So I think it was like working through with their guides and like protecting them and stuff like that. And if she's saying that they don't sense it anymore, why not? So yeah. But again, that's a wrap for today's episode
today's
of Secret of the
woo-woos.
Cosmos. Today's woo-woos. And to me, I'm just gonna say, you want to believe what you want to believe, but your guides are real. And to Celine, I think you should try and like. I think they're pretty much like excited as well to be acknowledged, and just like imagine like being like a quiet support for all this time and never getting acknowledgement. Imagine how that feels. So I think the reason that they get acknowledged, like, oh, I'm so happy they know I exist.
They need their spotlight.
That's a big thing. Yeah, and I think this is a spotlight to everyone's guides. Shout out to everyone's guides. And if you're watching this, they know you're listening to
Yeah.
this. They can read your minds. They can hear your thoughts. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who's already ready to manifest. And what can you say? What else?
Share it to someone who likes the boo-boos and show some
Yes,
guide
share it to
appreciation.
people.
It's Guide Appreciation Day.
Yeah, Guide Appreciation Day. And again, your spirit guides are always nudging you towards the life you were meant to
Don't
live.
let dreams be
And
dreams.
yes, don't let dreams be dreams. And I feel like you should always believe that they are always there to support you, protect you, especially protect you, nudge you, and make sure that you are living your best life and making sure that you're not doing stupid things. Because imagine, it's like watching a movie. Imagine, like, this is the best way I can explain it to people. Imagine your guides, they're just there. They can see your situation better than you can because they're a zoomed out version of you. And imagine like being in the movie and you can already see the main character doing something stupid. Like, why? Don't go there. Imagine the commentary
Yeah.
behind the scenes of them saying, like, oh my God, why are you doing this? Stop doing this. Or, so that's how I like to visualize how they live their life as guides. Because as humans, we do a lot of questionable things.
Agree.
Agree. All right. Anything else you want to say to our subscribers and listeners? And by the way, we've seen some movement. Like we have a couple of downloads from our previous podcasts. And thank you guys so much for taking the time and listening to our stories, all the woo woos. Do you have anything to say to the people who listen to us, Selene?
Love y'all. Love very spirit
Well,
guides.
love ya. Yes, and always the secret of the cosmos. I'm Kalina.
I'm Selene.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Woos. See you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. We've got more manifestation and alignment talks coming your way. See you in the next episode.